Good day everyone. Welcome to our video tutorial all about compound interest. We may have heard compound interest in our daily lives, but first let's define what is compound interest. Compound interest is when an interest is compounding. It means that when the next interest period arrives, it takes into account the total balance rather than just the principal. It is the addition of interest to the principal sum of a loan or deposit, or in other words, interest on principal plus interest. As shown in this graph, illustrating the monetary difference between compound interest and simple interest over a 20-year period. Typically, compounding interest works for the benefit of investors who see compounding return, but works against borrowers who have to pay off an exponentially growing loan balance. Furthermore, more frequent compounding periods benefit the lender, since they guarantee that the balance will compound as many times as possible before the balance is paid. Less frequent periods benefit the borrower since it gives more opportunity to pay back the loan before the next interest payment period. So in terms of loaning a fund, compound interest makes it more profitable than simple interest.
Let's take a look at some examples using this formula. For the first example, we have Adi deposited 20,000 pesos with an interest rate of 6%. Compounded annually, what will be the amount of money after 10 years? Let's first identify the given. Our principal will be the deposited 20,000 pesos and the rate will be 6%. Converting it to a decimal, it will be 0.06. Our time will be 10 years, and finally, for our compounding period is 1, because it is compounded annually. Now that we know the given, let's try to solve it. Firstly, multiply the exponents, which is 1 and 10. After getting the result, add 1 to 0.06. After adding, divide 1.06 over 1, then solve 1.06 raised to 10. We only need 2 decimal places, so we will get a result of 1.79 from the exponent. Multiply 20,000 to 1.79 and we will get a result of 35,816.95 pesos as the amount of money if it is compounded annually for 10 years. Another example we have is Mr. Yan makes an initial investment of 5,000 pesos for 3 years. Find the value of investment after 3 years. If the investment earns a return of 10% compounded annually. Our given will be 5,000 pesos for the principal, 10% or 0.1 in decimal for the rate, 3 years for the time, and 1 for the compounding period. Multiply first the exponents, which is 1 and 3, then add 1 to 0.1. After adding, divide 1.10 by 1. Solve first 1.10 raised to 3 and multiply the result by 5,000. Then, we will have the result of 6,655 pesos for the value of investment after 3 years if it is compounded annually.
Let's now learn about inflation rate. The rate at which prices increase over a specific time period is known as inflation. Inflation is often measured in broad terms such as the general rise in prices or the rise in the nation's cost of living. The formula for inflation rate is A is equal to P, open parenthesis 1 plus R, close parenthesis raised to T, wherein A is the future amount, P is the principal amount, R is the rate, T is the time. For example, suppose a music studio that was worth 68,000 pesos in 1987 is worth 104,000 pesos in 2004. Assuming a constant rate of inflation from 1987 to 2004, what is the inflation rate? To solve this inflation rate, Substitute the problem in a compound interest formula. Divide both sides by 68,000. Take the 17th root of both sides of the equation. This is the period from 1987 to 2004. Subtract 1 from both sides to solve for R. Finally, our inflation rate would be 2.53%.
In conclusion, compound interest causes your wealth to grow faster. It makes a sum of money grow at a faster rate than a simple interest because you will earn returns on the money you invest, as well as on returns at the end of every compounding period. This means that you don't have to put away as much money to reach your goals. We also learned that inflammation rate, the more years it takes in the principal, the higher will be its the value in the future. Thanks for watching.